that much. The bank will not loan the agreed amount, and the buyer only has 3% down as a first-time home buyer. What can I do? Get yourself another buyer.
Yeah, you're in a place where you get to decide when the appraisal comes in low, unless you put in or you took out the appraisal contingency or something like that. Hopefully you didn't do that, but you're in a place where now you get to decide if you want to go forward with the transaction or not. You can cancel it, find another buyer. I mean, the housing market is super hot,
right?
But you're not going to get a different appraisal next time. If it's an FHA loan, that appraisal is tied to your address. So anybody else who comes with an FHA loan, they're going to get that same appraisal. So that's not going to help you. Fannie Mae, also Freddie Mac, they also log appraisals. So if a new appraisal came in substantially different than this one, it would create a red flag on a future purchase. Sometimes I see basically three scenarios. The seller lowers their price down to the $8,000. Or the buyer comes up by $8,000. They have to have the $8,000 in cash or be able to get a gift of it from a family member. Or I've seen people meet in the middle sometimes. The seller will say, I'll come down $4,000. You figure out a way to get $4,000 more, But your option right now is you might be able to cancel that contract and go and find a better deal. Just the point being that it's not going to the appraisal is probably going to be around what you're going to get. You're not going to get much different on that appraisal.
Unless someone has some cash.
Yeah, so you may find someone who's got cash and is willing to pay for a little more. It's certainly happening.
It's happening a lot.
They're paying a little more than what the house appraises for. It's happening all the time right now. But I those first time home buyers, they're living their dream.
Just out of the goodness of your heart.
Yeah, they're gonna be crushed. I don't know. You got to do what you got to do. It's a business transaction.
Yeah,
but you're in control. You can either lower the price or cancel the contract and move on and find another seller. But that's a hassle too. You're putting it back on the market. You're waiting at least another 45 days by the time you put it on the market, get it under contract, give somebody 30 days to close it. So I don't know. Is it worth your time to wait another month or two before you close on the house? Just depends on you.
I guess it seems like.
Yeah. Thanks for texting that into 77031. We can answer your questions, or you can go to homeloansradio.com. There's lots of stuff there as well. There's guides, there's information, there's videos, there's podcasts. You can apply for a loan there. You can just fill your brain with all kinds of info there, or you can text me a question there anytime during the week. You have a mortgage expert right at your fingertips. You just go there and hit the button that says Ask Don and send me a question. I answer all those myself.
Can I get financing from you to finalize the balloon on my rent to own agreement in 6 months?
One more time.
Okay. Can I get financing for you to finalize the balloon on my rent to own agreement? In 6 months, I lose my deposit of $7,500.
So, okay. Rent to own agreement is kind of, usually it's kind of like a contract between two parties. It's like a private purchase contract where you'll agree to put down a deposit. Sometimes they'll have it where a certain part of your rent goes towards your future down payment, or that deposit goes towards your future down payment. And I've seen them before where they have a clause where you've got a year or 5 years or 2 years to exercise this buy option on this rental lease. So when they're talking about a balloon, I'm guessing that's what they mean, that there's going to be at some point, they said it's coming up, right? They set a time limit
in 6 months.
Okay. So they've got a balloon deadline where they've got to exercise this option to buy. And normally what I see on those, if you don't buy the house within a certain time, then you can forfeit that initial deposit you put down, $2,000 or $4,000 or whatever it is.
$7,500.
Oh, wow. Well, then that's a big deposit. So you basically, you need to get a loan. You need to get pre-approved. You need to go to homeloansradio.com, right away and let us figure it out. Right now it's good. You've got 6 months. That means it only takes a month to close a loan. But that means even if I look at your credit and you need to do some credit repair, or you need to figure out a way to get some money for a down payment, we've got some time. We can get a good run at it. So definitely go to homeloansradio.com.
Give it the old college try.
Yeah, we'll pull it. We'll look at the situation. We'll look at your application, and then I'll tell you, okay, in order to be done in 6 months, this is what you need to do. If there's a possible way to do it, we'll figure it out with you. So hit me up. I can help you with that.
Kevin from Missouri is in Tennessee driving to North Carolina, and he's coming in hard with orange juice.
Orange juice, yeah. That's a classic.
I mean, that's the basic of all juices, I think.
But now, okay, that begs the question, pulp or no pulp?
Well, then you're right. There's a whole spectrum of pulp.
Do they still give away free juice when you come across the Florida line, like on I-75?
Go into the place, yeah.
Like there's like a
center.
Yeah. And you can go in there and get some juice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I haven't been there in years. I remember that as a kid, like, I don't know,
Ooh,
forever
orange
ago.
juice.
Back then, the car didn't, you didn't even have to have seat belts. You could ride up in the back window underneath the rear window, and then you pull in and get some ice cold
Did you have
orange
to crank
juice.
the car?
Shush, MJ. Shush your
Jeez,
mouth.
That's brutal.
I was a child. I was a tiny child.
A tiny child in the upper back window of a car.
Yeah, I remember doing that as a little kid, sleeping up there in the back window of a car on
That's
road
gotta be
trips.
hot.
Oh,
I don't remember. I don't remember that part. It was so recent. Yeah,
Yeah. Well, you got that free orange juice.
I know. Anyway, orange juice is good. I like orange juice.
Mhm.
Yeah, we're back to juice talk.
It came in. We asked, and now we know. Thanks, Kevin.
No.
back to
Thanks
juice
for
talk.
taking
You're
the
so
time,
disappointed.
Thank you for. What were all the states he mentioned? I lost track of where he was.
He's from Missouri.
Yeah.
He's in Tennessee, and
Check.
he's driving to North Carolina.
Okay.
So we got 3 states for Kevin.
All right. He's a man of travel and international mystery.
Flats
Oh,
Fisherman
man.
says prune juice for the win.
Oh,
That's definitely only for medicinal purposes.
that's not just a juice that you taste. That's an experience. Don't do that without caution. Yeah.
Goodness. Okay.
Yeah. It's like a, not that I have personal experience. It's like
Really?
an edible, like
I see.
you might think, oh, this isn't doing anything, so I'll have a lot more. And then you're sorry.
Oh God, yeah. I mean, friends of mine have told me,
Yeah. I've heard it.
I've heard about it.
Yeah.
I have heard about it. I've heard people who doubted the power
Oh
and
yeah.
have come back to tell a tale. A scary
With
tale.
wide eyes. Yes. A wide-eyed tale.
A cautionary tale, to be sure.
Well, you're listening to Home Loans Radio, where we talk about just about anything.
we
Apparently
do. We
anything's
talk
on
about
the
everything
table.
on this show.
We're gonna
It
take
just made me snort.
we're gonna take a break and recover ourselves, and we'll be right back
We'll
to
be
answer
very
your
serious when
questions.
we get back.
Yes.
You're listening to Home Loans Radio on Real Radio. Now back to the show with that mortgage guy, Don.
Good morning. You're listening to Home Loans Radio with that mortgage guy, Don and Fritz.
Oh yeah, hello.
Hey, Fritz, you sound so special.
Yeah. Well, I haven't had my short glass of apple juice today yet. I'm a little parched.
No time like the present.
I'm MJ, and we're here waiting for your home loan questions. Whatever you got to give us about mortgages or refinancing, just text in to 77031. We're also interested in what you're doing in your favorite juice. So jump on that.
Did you hear that loud click?
Click. Yep. That's someone breaking the knob off.
Yes. Okay. Well, you are indeed listening to Home Loans Radio, and we're here doing what we do every single weekend morning. We are live. This is the last weekend in August, right, MJ?
Is it?
Coming up, we got? What is it? Labor Day? Is it Labor Day that's at the end of summer, or Memorial Day?
It's Labor Day.
Labor Day. Yeah, we got that coming up in a week or so. You got any plans today, Fritz?
Just gonna paint a scene from one of my favorite movies, Goodfellas.
Oh, yeah, I'm doing that too.
I never know what I'm. Both of you? What a coincidence!
That's so random.
Yeah,
That's so awesome.
that's what I was gonna say. I never know what I'm gonna get when I ask
Right?
Fritz what he's doing.
Yeah.
It could be on his way to kayak in a spring. He could be recording music. He could be learning how to tap dance. He could be painting a scene from Goodfellas. You're talking about like art, like a canvas and brushes, right?
Yeah, it'll be paper, but yeah, I can't afford canvases. Too dang expensive.
They're pretty cheap actually right now, just FYI.
Oh yeah, that's not what my canvas guy's been telling me.
well, he might be jacking you up. I'm just saying. No, I just bought some on sale, like at a craft store, and it was like, I don't know.
MJ will get you her plug.
It was like $1. They were like $2 each, so it was pretty cheap.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds exciting. And everything you do that's artistic is amazing. So I can't wait to see it.
Oh well, thank you.
Yeah.
And Fritz, you sent me a really cool Coolio video of you playing the drums for Coolio.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
I saw that.
That was very cool. I just was watching a documentary this week on Netflix, Count Me In. Have you seen that?
No, what's it about?
It's about drummers.
Oh, okay.
Like all rock drummers. It's really cool.
That's a
I
good
like it a lot.
title.
I enjoy drummers, but
Did-
yeah, it's definitely it's all about
Yeah,
drumming and drummers and how drummers are the backbone of everything.
I saw the video of Fritz playing drums for Coolio. The part that was remarkable to me was that you're doing that, but
Right?
he also said I had to learn 15 songs in an hour,
Yeah.
and like it was no problem.
Yeah, they
Right?
asked me at 4:30, and I said yes. And then at 7:30, they sent the set list and all of the songs, and including audibles that they might play, and they played 2 of
Wow.
those.
Wow,
Wow.
that's amazing.
I think you'd like that documentary.
Yeah.
Brett texted in, I recently applied for a VA loan with you,
Mhm.
Don, and I'm waiting for approval. How difficult would it be to ask for closing cost or to add the closing cost in? And also sauerkraut juice is where it's at.
Oh, wow.
That sounds
that a thing?
awful. I don't know.
That's
I've never seen that in the grocery store.
brine and calcium.
Mm.
Yum.
This is-
Well, I guess there is a lot of people who like pickle juice too.
Oh,
that
pickle
I've-
juice
Pickleback thing.
pickle juice is amazing.
Yeah, that whole pickleback thing.
I think sauerkraut juice is just what's left when the sauerkraut runs out, right?
Yeah.
Down
Yeah.
in the bottom of the jar.
Hard to get that. I don't know.
You
Fermented things are very important right now. People are all about the
Lactofermentation.
fermented things.
You just shocked my brain so much about the
I
kraut
forgot
juice that I forgot the question. Will you read it again?
was, Can Brett, he's already got a loan in
Yeah, yeah.
processing with you. How difficult would it be for him to add closing costs or mix and put the closing costs added into the financing?
Yeah, you should be able to. I mean, normally we're going to set it up so that either the closing costs are rolled into the loan amount, so you're not paying those out of pocket. You can technically have them paid by the loan, by the lender, but normally you're going to pay a little bit higher interest rate. So if that's something you need, we can take a look at it. Hit me up and we'll do the math on it and see what works. Usually it's not the best deal to raise your rate to pay the closing costs. That's what most of the lenders out there that
It's a VA loan, remember?
yeah, and it doesn't matter whether it's VA, FHA, conventional. Most of the lenders out there that say they're going to pay your closing costs, they do that by raising the rate a little bit. So if I raise the rate a quarter point, then the VA will say, okay, if you raise it a quarter point, we'll give you this much towards closing costs. If you raise it, a half a point, we'll get this much towards closing costs. So that's where it comes from. But I'm happy to look at it. There's some cases where it makes a lot of sense, especially if you need cash to close on a transaction. And we'll definitely take a look at it for you. Thanks for texting in. Hit me up. Go to the Ask Don section on the Home Loans Radio website and put in that question, and I'll make sure that we talk and get you some answers on it.
Diane says, good morning, Don. I love your show.
Good morning.
I'm wondering,
What up,
and I
Diane?
wondered this too. I'm wondering if installing solar panels on my home would increase the value or not.
That's kind of, it's a thing that's happening more and more.
It's $1 million question, isn't it?
Yeah, it's kind of I would say it's kind of a toss up right now, because it's something that you're adding to the home, but it can also be removed from the home. So it's tough to decide whether it adds value or not. Having a whole house generator or having a battery system that stores energy from the solar, so that if we have a power outage or whatever, those kind of things can add some value. But I can tell you for sure, it's not going to add the amount of value you paid for it. If you pay $50,000 for it, it ain't going to make your house worth $50,000 more. And it may not make your value worth anything more, because when you do an appraisal, you're comparing it to other homes that have similar amenities.
Good
So
point.
if other homes also have solar panels and they sold for $400 and you have solar panels, then your house, would be the same. So it's not like that gives you any extra value above the comparables that are being used. So it would add some value. I think it would make it possibly sell more quickly, or
Might make it more attractive.
yeah,
or
make it more attractive
compelling.
if you're selling it. But as far as like getting a refinance, it's not going to immediately add value to it. I've thought about it. I've thought about putting solar panels on my house. I haven't done it yet. I've looked at it, but I haven't done it because the thing that gives me pause with it and is that, you typically have to change your roof every 15 to 20 years.
Oh.
So I'm always wondering, well, what happens with the solar panels? You got to take all those off and do the roof and then put them all back on. And, how does that work? And what does that cost? So I don't know. I'd be curious to talk to somebody about that, how that works with, when you got to change out the roof. But anyway, thanks for texting that into 77031. And you can text in your question and I will answer it live right here, right now, today.
Also, tell us what you're doing or your favorite juice.
The world needs to know.
Beet juice.
Ooh, beet juice,
Beet
yeah.
juice. That's a good one. and Fritz, I'm pretty sure you can paint with beet juice also.
Yeah.
So
mhm.
There
Yeah,
you go.
You can paint with soy sauce and wasabi too.
That's
Don't ask me
awesome.
how I